Hello and welcome back. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Today on Coffee Talk, I'd like to talk to you about your bubble. Now, let's all give a great cheer out here. COVID is finally on the decrease and our restrictions are being lifted. We can now socialize in our bubbles. It may not be everybody, but at least we have our little family group or we have our little group of friends that we can socialize with and we can get together with again. We're allowed to travel between counties. What a fantastic time this is. It may not be over. Well, I know it's definitely not over, but we're on the right track. The more people that get vaccinated, the more resistance will be built up. Won't take it away, but the more resistance will be built up. And the better off we'll all be. But we still have to live within our bubbles. And before COVID happened, we didn't think of bubbles. We didn't think of our little groups of people. We were out in the world. We were socializing. We'd go here, we'd go there. But I want you to think about this. What about church? Is church one of your little bubbles? Was it one of your little bubbles before COVID? It's important to recognize. I know for myself, when I get into things and dealing with day-to-day activities, my whole world becomes compartmentalized. Here's church, here's work, here's family, here's recreation. And are they meeting in the middle? Each one of these little bubbles doesn't define us individually. We have to take a look at it as a whole. So if you have church in your little bubble, as restrictions lift, let's start expanding that bubble. Let's start getting out into the world and letting people know who we are. We're not just Christian in church. We're not just Christian with a group of people who we see in church, even if we see them in the street. We're Christian to everybody. Now, Jesus sent out the 72. He sent them out in groups of 2 to go out to the cities ahead of him and announce that he's coming, the Messiah. And he's coming to visit them. But he sent them out without an extra pair of sandals, without an extra tunic, without food. And he said, don't take that stuff with you. If you need it, it'll be provided. And what happened when those 72 came back to talk to him? They were amazed. Even the demons submitted to them in his name. What a great thing. In Jesus' name. Now, did Jesus keep himself in a little bubble? He sent them out and then he kept to himself? No. He went and met Mary Magdalene and drove out her 7 demons. He cured and healed people that he met. What about the woman at the well? He sat down and talked to her, even though he was a Jew and she was a Samaritan. The 2 groups didn't socialize. They didn't get along too well. But he broke the barrier. And that's what we have to start doing, is breaking barriers. Remember what the Great Commission was, and still is. Go out and spread my word, spread the word of the Lord, and baptize all the nations in my name. And are we doing that? We can start right here at home. We don't have to travel to other nations. We can start right here at home. Let people know who we are. We don't have to get in their face. We don't have to push ourselves on them. And we don't have to tell them how great we are. Because we're not. We're called to come to serve. We're servants. We're servants of our community. We're servants to the people around us. We're servants to our neighbors. But we really have to remember that Great Commission given to the 12 disciples before Jesus' ascension, after his resurrection, but before his ascension up to the Father. He gave his 12 disciples this commission. And it's very important that we spread our wings, that we spread our bubbles when we can. We still have to submit to the authorities. That's all part of it. Submit to the authorities. But let's spread our bubbles as we're allowed to. We're allowed to meet in church. Now let's start spreading it out. Thank you for joining me today. God bless you. And I hope that you'll join me for another session of Coffee Talk. Have yourselves a good day.